much do you expect Washington State's defense to look like Wyoming or Hawaii, or what do you expect?
The defensive coordinator came from Wyoming, so I would expect that there'd be quite a bit of carryover there, and that's kind of what we've been studying. But I think anytime you're going into a first game, you got to be kind of expecting that you might see a couple new wrinkles and some things, and you just got to kind of fall back on your base install and trust your base rules, and then kind of adjust during the game. But yeah, I think that it's pretty safe to assume that they hired him for a good reason at Wyoming, and they very successful on defense, and I would imagine they would carry that scheme over to Washington State.
How much do you look at last year's video from your game with Washington State? Does that really have much bearing at all right now? Or
that game, pretty painful to watch, that one. But we watched that thing a little bit, just personnel wise. They have a number of guys that are returning starters that are coming back, and so I think for the personnel piece, more than anything, just to kind of get a feel for the guys that they have coming back.
You did have 53 points, so it wasn't total bust. What kind of an arm does Tristan have?
Strong to quite strong. I don't think he's got the high level arm that Jake had, maybe to push the ball further downfield. I think Jake kind of had that elite ability to throw some of those deeper balls, but he can spin it, and I like his accuracy, and it comes out of his hand nice, and he can make all the throws that we're asking him to make in our offense. There might be a couple things, maybe those ones maybe field deep outs, or some of those balls that we did with Jake. Some of those things might not be able to make, but I like his arm.
Where do things stand with a backup quarterback?
Well, we've Chance Nolan will roll as the backup into this game, and Nick Moore will be also available, and Ben Gulbranson. But to go, I think Ben will be the guy that we roll with if something were to happen to Tristan.
Wait, so Ben would be the number 2, not?
I'm sorry, Chance.
Yeah,
sorry, Chance Nolan.
Oh, you meant, yeah.
Sorry, yeah.
With Chance, what has he kind of shown you guys in the last couple of weeks to take a hold of that second string spot?
Yeah, I think kind of that end of the third week of camp, he didn't have this really much of spring, and so I think that things started to slow down for him a little bit. I think that as we got most of our install in, and he was starting to see things twice, 3 times, and get some reps. He just he was thinking less, and he was just able to go out and play. And I thought he did some nice things in the last scrimmage. And in the end, I think he brings a little bit of experience coming from Saddleback at the college level playing. And we felt like he gave us a chance right now. And so we're rolling with him as the number 2.
Has Jack Coletto taken any snaps in practice?
Nah, he's been doing a nice job on defense, and I know those guys are really high on him, and he's been doing a nice job on defense. So no, we haven't messed around with Jack.
Would you even say if he had?
Yeah, probably not. I guess, but no, Jack I think he's doing a heck of a job on defense, and I know our defensive coach is really fired up to have him on that side of the ball.
Hey, Coach Lindgren, I don't know if you talked about this off the top because I just joined a couple of minutes ago, but Jake Luton getting an NFL start. What are your thoughts about that? And would you have advice for him on his first time foraying until the big start on Sunday against Houston?
No, I'm excited. I shot him a text here the other day, and super excited. There's not many people that get the opportunity to start an NFL regular season game, and awesome opportunity for him, and he'll do great, man. I know he's super excited for it, and I look forward to watching. And as far as the advice goes, now I haven't coached at that level or been a part of that at all, so that would be a new thing, man. I just told him to let it rip, go out, be yourself, and have fun, let it rip, and he'll do fine.
Tim, when you're looking at Delora from Washington State, how much do you look at his high school video? Do you look at all at that, or and how do you view him from what you know?
Yeah, obviously we're able to go back and look at some of his high school film because that's the only film on him that's available. And obviously we're not looking at every single game that he played in his entire high school career, but we're looking at some of the games that he played last year as a senior and taking a look and see what his skill set is.
When you think of run and shoot, pass is the first thing that comes to mind, but then they have Max Borghi. What do you think changed with his game from a year ago?
Well, the run and shoot is very different from the air raid and philosophically, and then how the offense runs, even though they're using basically the same personnel groups. And so I think the run and shoot does have a more of an emphasis on running the football. Coach Rolovich and their offensive staff at Hawaii had a much more diverse running game with different types of run plays than Washington State has used in the past. Max is an excellent player, and so I think that will benefit him in the run game. However, the air raid utilized the tailback a lot as a receiver, whereas the run and shoot does not. And so it'll be interesting to see how they blend those two.
How closely do you expect their offense to look like Hawaii's from last year?
Well, right now it's all just pure speculation. So we're going to get prepared for what they've done in the past as an offensive staff, and then we'll make adjustments on game day as necessary.
Tim, how often have you had to evaluate an opposing quarterback off his high school tape in the past, and how do you kind of, take what you need out of that, kind of factoring in the level of competition?
I'm sorry, what's the question?
Oh, I said, how often have you had to evaluate an opposing quarterback just off of high school tape before? Have you had to do that often?
No, it's pretty rare that this is the first start of the year. And so even if you have a true freshman that you're playing, unless it's the first game, the only time you really have to go back and look at high school film is in this scenario. And so it has not happened very often in my career where you go back and look at high school film, because 3 games from now, nobody's going to be looking at Delora's high school film. They're going to be looking at the first 3 games that he played this year.
How much does it look like he runs?
What do you mean? How much does he run?
Delora, they said he's almost like a dual threat quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, if you watched his high school tape and took a look at it, he's a good athlete, and he's capable of pulling the ball down and run. And St. Louis used him on some quarterback design runs.
Where he's such a young quarterback, is your linebacker corps kind of excited to introduce him to the game of college football? You think they're going to attack him and blitz him on the regular, or?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, we're going to attack their scheme and their quarterback, and we'll see how he handles pressure. We'll see how he handles coverage, and we'll just see what he's ready to deal with. And then if we can find a weakness, we'll keep trying to attack it.
Hey, Teagan, obviously you were involved in that 4th down play last year at Washington State. What do you remember about that play? Did you run everything perfectly, and did it just not work out, or what do you remember about that?
Yeah, I think it was a well executed play. The right call. I know I kind of just ran the route. I think Luton put it through a great ball to me. So 9 out of 10 times I think I'd make that play. So I'm excited to go against him again this year, and we got a lot to prove, so should be good.
Is that one that stuck with you a little bit during the off season, or do you forget those things pretty quickly?
I think you forget them, but I mean, yeah, of course it's in the back of my head. Some that I would want to capitalize on for the team. I think it would give us a good chance to win that game and be bowl eligible. So, yeah, I think it's just something you throw in the fire and good motivation.
Teagan, can you just talk about just you and Luke and kind of the potential that you two as a 1-2 punch from that tight end spot could provide this year?
I think there's a lot of potential there. 2 guys with kind of different skill sets. I mean, that guy can run. You line him up against a linebacker and he'll run right by him. So I think me and him, we cause a lot of matchup problems, and I'm excited to see what goes on this year.
Hey, Omar, obviously you played last year as a true freshman. What do you suppose is going through the mind of a true freshman quarterback?
A true freshman quarterback, I would think he's thinking about reading coverages at this level, pressure at this level. For me, I wasn't too nervous. I just kind of prepare, and if you prepare right, then you'll be good.
Omar, from just watching, what you can and, learning what you can about Washington State, what can we expect or what do you guys expect to see from them?
We expect of course, they run the same. We're expecting the same offense as Hawaii, run and shoot, downhill runs, and the ball getting out quick. So some deep routes too. So yeah.
Hey, so with the Pac-12 considering 9 a.m. kickoff times, how do you think games starting that early would impact you guys' like preparation and all that?
A 9 a.m. kickoff. I mean, getting up and getting right to it, and it don't sound too bad to me. But I mean, 9 a.m. is kind of early, but just getting after it straight from waking up, not that bad.
Omar, how excited are you to play a meaningful, real college football game for the first time in almost a year?
I'm real excited. It was kind of a swell of emotions from going, all right, the season we not playing, to all right, it's a possibility, to then it's canceled and now we playing again. So I'm real excited just to be able to get back on the field again with my guys.
Do you feel extra prepared because of how long the off season was?
Yeah, the off season was very long. We've been putting in work for a long time, so I think it's time to go.
Omar, just what's the pulse of the team? What's your guys' confidence level going into this first game?
I think it's big confidence. I think offense is gonna show people that it wasn't no drop off from last year, and I think the defense is going to make it a physical game.
Hey, Simon, what was this fall camp like for you? Just kind of going through all the craziness and not knowing if you guys are going to have a season and still trying to kind of stay prepared and stay ready to play.
I'd say kind of like it was good. It was just kind of delayed in comparison to when we usually do it, just kind of being in school and everything. Otherwise, it's been the same. It's kind of just been in schedule process and just how we've been in schedule or in season otherwise. So it's been good, really.
Simon, for the defensive line as a whole, how much is just kind of the group from top to bottom just grown from year one to year two? Obviously, we see guys like Anders Skelton get a starting spot this year. Just how much is kind of that maybe backup depth grown behind maybe the starters?
I would really say that our backup depth has grown tremendously. Everybody on the D-line has stepped up really with everything that's gone on with COVID going on and everything like that. You see the freshmen coming in, really taking a spot and really taking a place where we can rely on them.
Simon, the fact that you guys are going up against a true freshman quarterback, does that make you maybe more hungry or want to be more aggressive to introduce him to the college game?
There's no difference if the quarterback is a senior or the quarterback is a freshman coming out of high school. It's the same hunger, it's the same drive to go back there, try to get him every single time as a D lineman.